Lacey Evans is now officially on Monday Night Raw. Plans for her to be 100% heel on Monday nights moving forward. Money in the Bank and the entire concept of the match is set to change. And Roman Reigns, taking all summer off, will miss 10 weeks of television. That's a major problem when Roman Reigns is your Universal and WWE undisputed heavyweight champion. All this plus so much more right here on Off the Script. I am JD from New York, and I got a little bit of extra for you. It is Tuesday, May 10th, 2022. Thank you so very much for joining me on your Tuesday afternoons, wherever you may be. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. That is on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below for all the latest in WWE and AEW news and rumors. And make sure you guys turn on that bell for all notifications and hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 1,000 likes minimum on today's extra right here on OTS. Let's start with Lacey Evans. WWE on Monday Night Raw last night promoted Lacey Evans and her 6 chapters of cringe that we've had to sit through on Friday Night SmackDown. Everybody was wondering why we were seeing this on SmackDown and then again on Monday Night Raw. I even blasted it on the live stream on the Raw post show last night after Monday Night Raw. Everybody was asking why. Why is WWE promoting Lacey Evans on Monday night? Now we have a reason. Lacey Evans is now set to be a part of the Monday Night Raw roster after making her return to TV officially on Friday Night SmackDown. On Monday's episode of Raw, the company aired an abbreviated version of the 5-part series that they've been airing on Friday night. After the video aired, Corey Graves said Evans' story may seem sensational, but everything she said was true. Just last week on SmackDown, Lacey Evans talked in a video about how this is her time and plans to eventually win the SmackDown Women's Championship. Oh, how things change over the course of just one weekend. There was some speculation that WWE turned her heel as ring announcer Samantha Irvin stated that the fans needed to hear the true story of Lacey Evans and everybody should stand up and show her the proper respect and that they should applaud and welcome her back to Friday Night SmackDown. However, the Raw segment made her look completely like a babyface. Now, PW Insider is reporting today that WWE officials have now moved Evans over to the Raw roster, and despite the videos to make her out to be a babyface, WWE is now planning to use her as a heel. Evans took time off from WWE last year, if you guys remember, because she was pregnant with her second child. This has been some of the most nauseating television that WWE has produced in the entire year. Lacey Evans was a failure. The gimmick bombed when she was there before she got pregnant. Now she's back, and WWE is telling the same story all over again with more crocodile tears, more scripted writing, more time in front of the camera that doesn't really come off as natural, and an agenda, a forced agenda that WWE is shoving down your throat. They're basically begging you at this point, please find some sympathy for Lacey Evans. Please cheer for Lacey Evans. We have nobody else in the division. We need you to get on board with the Lacey Evans story. No, I will not get on board with the Lacey Evans story because I could see right through the veil of WWE. You wanted to promote this woman and parade this woman around and garner sympathy from the audience. And now, with this news, theoretically, if you look at the last 6 weeks of fucking cringe that we've had to endure on SmackDown, you've wasted 6 weeks of our life asking us to do one thing, and then you want to flip the script on the fans and turn her heel on Monday Night Raw? How are you going to ask the fans to do that and ask them to care, you're basically throwing shit in their face. This is the same exact thing that WWE does every single time with an act that they're big on. Plans change. Why isn't it working? Why isn't it getting over? Look at what you're doing. Look at what you're doing. You've already made this act and this gimmick a failure right from the word go, and she hasn't even stepped foot in a ring yet. I can't wait to see this bomb. This has been some of the most disingenuous TV that WWE has produced all year. You know, it's better off if WWE just goes into it with a sense of reality and a sense of real. This is not realism. This is realism amped up to a desperation point, reeking of desperation, begging for the audience to care. If WWE was able and capable of writing compelling television that fucking felt natural and was real, then maybe the audience would get on board. This is not it. And the other question I have is, Lacey Evans was set to be a heel, right? She's going to be a heel on Monday night. I'm assuming WWE was going to do the same thing on Friday. I mean, they had no other choice but to turn Lacey Evans heel, because if you really think about it, who else is there on Friday night that's going to be feuding with Ronda? Now, I know a lot of people are mentioning, well, JD, what about Bayley? Bayley can come back to SmackDown, be a heel, and feud with Ronda. Unless you want Ronda to drop the title to Bayley, which I would not mind at all. Why would you put Bayley in a situation upon return to feud with Ronda? WWE's not taking the title off of Ronda anytime soon at all. And why would you put Bayley in a situation upon return to lose her first match or her first feud back? Who's Lacey Evans going to feud with on Monday Night Raw that I actually give a shit about? Nobody. There's nobody over there that I want to see feud with. With Lacey Evans versus Bianca Belair? Oh my God, man. Please hand me the remote control and give me the option to change the channel right now. But again, I have to ask, who's going to feud with Ronda Rousey over on SmackDown? There's nobody over there. Shayna Baszler. I'd like to see Shayna and Ronda be a tag team. That would be great. Even though there's no tag teams, I think a pairing would be a lot better than them being in the ring together. Sasha Banks, we've seen that. Shotzi Blackheart about to be fired. Aaliyah, Xia Li, nobody believes any of those women can handle Ronda Rousey in ring or be legitimate enough to take down Ronda Rousey. There's nobody for Ronda on SmackDown. Bayley may be the only option. And you're already putting Bayley in a situation that is a lose-lose situation. This entire thing reeks of disaster. I can't wait to see WWE pull themselves out of this shithole that they've once again found themselves in. Roman Reigns. This is the big story going around the community today. Roman Reigns is set to take time off from WWE TV this summer. Days after Roman Reigns got fans talking following his promo from Saturday's house show, live show, main event in Trenton, New Jersey, where he talked about going into the next phase of his life. It looks like the undisputed WWE Universal Champion is taking a hiatus from appearing on WWE television and working all live events, including premium live events. As previously reported, if you guys were not in the know, he recently signed a new WWE deal, which I'm assuming is just a rework of his current deal, with a reduced schedule. House shows will now be reduced as far as Roman's schedule is concerned, and he will be taking more days off. PW Insider first reported that Reigns is not advertised for any TV events or house shows in July and in August. This hiatus starts after the June 24th edition of SmackDown all the way up until Labor Day. However, Reigns is advertised for Money in the Bank and SummerSlam. Now, WWE could still pull him from these events, as Brock Lesnar was advertised for Backlash this past Sunday. For weeks, he was advertised, despite WWE never having any plans to use him at the event. They merely used him in advertising to sell the first couple of tickets, first couple of thousand tickets, and then they pulled him from the advertising, knowing that WWE was on their way to a sellout for this show. And I don't like that. I think that's sleazy, and that's very, very just bullshit of WWE. Meltzer talked about this situation on today's Wrestling Observer Live. With Reigns being away for 10 weeks, it's possible that he's filming a movie or just needs a break, as there's no word yet on why he is taking time off. Meltzer says, and I quote, "I'm trying to get more information on this, but he was removed from all shows. His last show is June 19th until Labor Day. I don't know what the situation is other than he is scheduled for the 2 pay-per-view shows, all TV, all house shows. I don't know what it is, whether he's doing a movie. Obviously, we already know his schedule going forward after June is going to be cut back anyway, but there will be a period where he won't be on television because he's been removed from all advertisements." Meltzer added, "He's advertised for only 2 shows, but I don't know what that means." Roman Reigns yesterday teased in an Instagram video that WrestleMania Backlash could be the very last 6-man tag team match that you will see feature him and the Usos ever. You know, this is a huge developing situation, and I'm sure I will have more on this as the week goes on, and we'll talk about this more extensively on Sunday's live episode 430 of Off the Script. But looking at this head on from what we know right now, Roman Reigns is set to take 10 weeks off. He's missing all TV and all house shows. The only shows that he's advertised for are Money in the Bank and Summerslam. He needs to be on TV to build towards major matches. Those are the 2 biggest shows of the entire year on the WWE pay-per-view calendar. Money in the Bank is taking place in Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas in front of 50,000 people. SummerSlam is going to be taking place in Nissan Stadium in Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee. You mean to tell me that Reigns is going to be advertised for those shows, but be removed off of television and all house shows building towards those shows? How are we supposed to get excited, and how are you supposed to build a match and a feud with Roman Reigns towards Money in the Bank and SummerSlam when he's not on television? You do realize that Monday Night Raw is an operating brand in the middle of a brand split without a world champion right now. You mean to tell me that we're going to have to do the same thing with Reigns that we had to live through with Brock Lesnar holding the title hostage for months before he came back and decided that he needed to work and to defend the title because WWE had big plans for Brock Lesnar's opponents, and they wanted to save him from major shows, and they only had a select number of dates to work on the WWE calendar? Are we now looking at Reigns taking the Brock Lesnar schedule? And if that's the case, it will not make the championships more prestigious. It's only going to make the television shows that much more unimportant, and I don't know how much more unimportant they could be from where we are right now. If WWE wants to have Reigns off TV for 10 weeks, then they, I'm sure, already knew about this, because this isn't some fucking thing you make in a last-minute decision. WWE should have already been in the process of building the United States Championship and the Intercontinental Championship to carry the load on both of these shows so that Reigns could, and I'm not saying that's even the right thing because of the mid-card titles being elevated. If they wanted Reigns off the television, they could have maybe gotten away with it. But you're telling me Reigns is taking 10 weeks off of television, your mid-card titles are fucking nothing but paperweights, and Monday Night Raw doesn't have any world championship. I don't see how this works. I don't see how this makes sense. Money in the Bank and SummerSlam, but you want to take 10 weeks off and everything in between, and you want him to build something meaningful towards these shows? This is what we need to do. And if this is true, if any of this is legit, this needs to happen ASAP. Reigns needs to lose the title to Drew McIntyre, and Cody Rhodes needs to win the WWE Championship by any means necessary. Drew McIntyre wins, whether it's at SummerSlam or Money in the Bank. You have Drew McIntyre be the man on SmackDown. You have him defend the title going into the Clash of the Castle show in UK, and you have him defend that title against Gunther, and that is going to be a major attraction in Cardiff, Wales. Cody Rhodes is the one I feel sorry for. Money in the Bank. He looks like he may be the odds-on favorite to win Money in the Bank. And if you do Cody Rhodes winning Money in the Bank, him cashing in on Roman Reigns and taking a title away from a weakened Reigns, say we get Money in the Bank, Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns, and McIntyre wins the title at Money in the Bank, and Cody Rhodes wins Money in the Bank during the show, and he cashes in on the other championship that Roman Reigns has in the very same night. Theoretically, we could be looking at Roman Reigns lose both titles in the same night. I don't want to see that. I don't want that for Cody. I don't want to see that. That would really diminish everything he did with Roman Reigns and even make it a bigger waste of time. But Cody Rhodes winning the World Championship in that manner, in such a rush way, that's not what I envision for Cody Rhodes. I more so envision Cody Rhodes winning a Money in the Bank per se and then cashing it in like a legit babyface. I don't want to win because you're in a weakened state. I want to win it through traditional fucking means. I want to win it in the right way. Why would he do that? That is completely against his character and completely against the mission statement that he had set forth on the Raw after Mania. Why would you do that? This does not spell anything good for WWE right now. Again, if any of this is true, I don't know why you would advertise only 2 shows and then everything else in between he's not going to be a part of. Now, Roman Reigns could drop one of the titles. He could vacate one of the titles, and we can have a tournament on Monday Night Raw. I don't really like that idea either. I mean, I love tournaments, but, I mean, what's the point in giving him a unified world championship if you're only going to go turn around in the next 2 months, 3 months, and then just drop the title because, oh, he's going away for 10 weeks to do whatever the fuck he's got to do? We're not looking at a good situation here. WWE is in a terrible situation, and the one thing that they need to do, if this is true, is they cannot operate without world championships on television because nothing on TV even matters except this man right here holding both of your biggest prizes. This is a bad situation and needs to be rectified immediately. I don't know what we do or how we get there, but I'm telling you this right now. If Reigns doesn't lose those championships, we are going to be in for a very, very long summer. And to dead the fucking conversation right now, why would you want him to hold the championships while actively affecting both Friday night and Monday night? Roman Reigns does not need the championships going into WrestleMania with The Rock. He does not need that match to be for any world championship. Roman versus Rock sells itself. The world championship should be on somebody else because that is what is most important. That match speaks for itself. It does not need to have added championships on the line to enhance it. It's already enhanced just by The Rock coming back and ending the Roman Reigns Tribal Chief storyline. This is a bad situation and needs to be fixed ASAP. Speaking of Money in the Bank, there are major discussions about changing the entire Money in the Bank concept, and it started with Cody Rhodes and this vignette about him claiming whoever wins Money in the Bank is going to have a first shot at main eventing WrestleMania. WWE created a lot of confusion on Sunday night during the Backlash broadcast with their fans because Cody Rhodes and WWE aired a promo for the upcoming Money in the Bank premium live events on Sunday's broadcast. Cody Rhodes, and they did it again on Monday. Cody Rhodes appeared in the ad and stated that the winners of the Money in the Bank briefcase would earn title shots at WrestleMania. The idea completely turns the concept of being able to cash in anytime and just eliminates it. WWE, via this ad, has basically told you, and nothing is confirmed. I don't know why they aired it on Sunday and then Monday. Clearly, if it was Sunday, they would have rectified this because that seemed like a mistake. They went right back on Monday and aired the same fucking vignette. This would turn the entire concept upside down and change years of what the concept originally was. It was reported that many WWE employees were surprised by the ad and just as surprised by the ad as the fans were. Money in the Bank has a special aura about it that makes every moment until that final cash-in more exciting. If the winners were locked to a match at WrestleMania, it defeats the purpose of not only Money in the Bank, but it defeats the purpose of the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble is the lock to main event WrestleMania, not Money in the Bank. That's the first thing that I thought of. You want to lock main events of WrestleMania via Money in the Bank in July? What about the Rumble? Nobody's thinking here if that's the case. Now, again, take this with a grain of salt. We don't know what the fuck Cody Rhodes meant by what he said in this vignette, but it already is getting people talking. And maybe that's what WWE wants. On the latest Wrestling Observer Live, Dave Meltzer talked about the Money in the Bank promo, which once again aired on Raw. Dave asked around, and nobody he talked to in the company knew anything about it. Many WWE employees were surprised when they saw the vignette. He says, and I quote, "So the first time I saw that, I just thought, wait a minute. So I asked around, and nobody seemed to know anything, so I didn't really worry about it. But they aired the same promo on Monday. It was not a mistake. They aired the promo. It was on Raw again last night." That's what they said. I know people there that should know that they are put in this situation and were even surprised by what they saw. They asked WWE, nobody knows anything. The official statement was there was no official statement, but the ad was what the ad said. So it appears the winners of the men's and women's Money in the Bank match are going to be getting title shots at WrestleMania based on the promotion for the show that they put on. I guess maybe the mentality is that it would enhance the value of the Money in the Bank and make it even more intriguing. But obviously, it would change the entire nature of the Money in the Bank concept. Now, I don't know if this alteration is going to be something that sticks with WWE. They have to know that they're already ruining the concept of the Royal Rumble. I don't know what that means for the Royal Rumble. Now, what I'm thinking here is, that's the first thing I'm thinking. What this also means is that WWE absolutely is going to give you a brand split that is separate, and we're going to ununify the World Championships. That's the only thing that this could mean. We're not getting a unified tag team championship. I don't believe that for a single second. They've already canceled it, and WWE's already teasing it as far as Monday Night Raw. The Usos and RK Bro are going to have a confrontation on Friday night. Blah, 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 blah. We've seen this for weeks now. I won't believe it until we absolutely get that bell ringing and Mike Rome says this is for the Unified Tag Team Championships of WWE. I'm not going to sit here and tell you we're going to get Unified Tag Team titles. What this means to me, on top of possibly the Royal Rumble and the meaning of the Royal Rumble being ruined because of WWE stupidity, is that we are absolutely going to get a world championship back on Monday night. We're going to have two world championships once again instead of a unified world title in WWE. This could mean that whoever wins Money in the Bank on men's and women's sides, we could get a SmackDown winner and a Raw winner per se. Let's say that is the case here. Cody Rhodes gets a Money in the Bank for Monday Night Raw, and we get a Bayley returning winning SmackDown's women's Money in the Bank. We could get Bayley challenging Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. And we could get, I guess, for the SmackDown title, and we could get Cody Rhodes challenging whoever the WWE champion is at that time, whether it's Reigns or somebody else, depending on the situation with the championship at WrestleMania. Then the Royal Rumble for the other two championships, that would be the Royal Rumble match, and that match would determine the winners for WrestleMania for the other two championships, the Universal Championship and the Raw Women's Championship. Maybe WWE is splitting up all of their major championships, and then they want Money in the Bank to be in the fold because it's going to be in a large-scale stadium. It's going to be a big stadium show. They want to add a level of importance to it if it's going to be just like everything else, like a WrestleMania or a Summerslam or a Royal Rumble. Maybe the Royal Rumble will be for the other two championships that are not determined, and the Money in the Bank will be for the other two championships that WWE, whatever they may be, decided upon. I don't know. I don't really know. It makes for a very confusing situation. So that's the one thing that I was thinking about before I actually hit record today. That's something that WWE could be thinking about. I'm not really sure, but it really makes everything that much more convoluted. The other question on top of that is, well, what's the point of the Elimination Chamber? What's the point of the Elimination Chamber? WWE wants to make Money in the Bank. They want to decide WrestleMania main events in fucking July. But what about the Elimination Chamber? The Elimination Chamber used to be the perfect, because it's on the road to WrestleMania, the perfect gateway to get the other championships that were not involved in the Royal Rumble winner's decision, the other championships involved in the chamber, and decide upon who wrestles for the other championships at WrestleMania via the Elimination Chamber. You walk in, you win your opportunity, and the setting itself just speaks for itself. There's no reason for an Elimination Chamber pay-per-view if you want to give Money in the Bank this level of importance. I don't understand it. WWE, I wish they'd stick to something instead of changing something that doesn't need to change. You want to decide WrestleMania main events in fucking July, and you want to ruin the concept, the exciting concept, which WWE hasn't really taken seriously for fucking years now anyway. They have a Money in the Bank winner and they fucking cash it in as quick as they win it. So nothing is intriguing anymore via the Money in the Bank. I wish they'd go back to that where it creates compelling television. Weeks of teases. He's about to cash in, but then he does it. And when he does or she does, it's fucking exciting, man. WWE just reeks of laziness. This is lazy. Some people will interpret this as long-term booking. This ain't no long-term booking. This is WWE changing something for the simple fact of them changing it with no fucking reason to change it at all. And I'm assuming I'll have more on these stories come Sunday on Off the Script. We'll be live for episode 430 of the podcast on Sunday night. So make sure you guys RSVP to the venue for Sunday night. Guys, that's all I got today. Those are the big stories coming out of today's news feed. If you did enjoy the video, please hit that thumbs up. 1,000 likes minimum on today's Off the Script Extra. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below and turn on the bell for all notifications. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. That's Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you guys go check out all the content. There's clips, live stream last night from Monday Night Raw. Episode 429 was live on Sunday afternoon, and we did the Backlash post show as well Sunday night. There's plenty of content for you guys on the channel this week, so make sure you guys go check out anything if you missed any of the content in the previous week. Guys, I will see you back tomorrow live inside the OTS venue with Jesse while we talk about the start of the Owen Hart Cup, AEW Dynamite Live, right here on Off the Script. I will not be live with NXT, and I will not be live with WWE 2K tonight. I will be in concert. I will be attending the Symphony X concert at Irving Plaza tonight in Manhattan. So I'm taking the night off, and I'm taking some personal time. I'll see you guys back live tomorrow night for AEW Dynamite on Off the Script. I'll see you guys then.